Welcome to this edition of National Focus. I'm Jarna, Hector. Coming up, the Honorable Tourism Minister reports growth in the tourism industry. The Government of Dominica is ensuring that every student gets to attend the DSC, and we explore cooperatives as a contributor to poverty reduction. Details of our headline stories and more after this. Thanks for staying with us. There is evidence that the tourism industry is growing, so says the Honorable Minister for Tourism and Urban Renewal, Senator Robert Tong. The Minister says this growth is as a result of proper planning. The Honorable Minister was addressing residents of the Roseau Valley at Government's Town Hall meeting last week. A number of Dominica's premier natural sites are situated in that part of the island. This in mind, the Honorable Minister took time to explain his ministry's role in growing the industry. He says, contrary to what some may believe, there is evidence that the industry has shown marked improvement.
At the end of 2014, you had 81,472 stay-over visitors. That is actually a 4.1% increase over the previous year. As I said before, the main objective is to increase the number of stay-over arrivals in Dominica and for them to spend as much money as possible. Many of you all may not necessarily know what the contribution is, but for the year 2014, persons coming to Dominica actually contributed $343 million into the economy of Dominica. Obviously, not one person gets that. The hotels get it, the taxi drivers get it, the vendors get it. It's spread all over the country, both directly and indirectly, even the banks, the telecommunication companies.
The ministry has engaged all stakeholders, including vendors, hoteliers, taxi drivers, and tour guides in its efforts to boost the industry. The Ministry of Tourism is also concentrating on revamping the destination's marketing strategy to ensure the message about Dominica is clear and attractive. Honorable Tong says service is another critical aspect of the industry which requires attention.
So we can do all this beautiful marketing, and when someone comes to Dominica and they have a horrible experience, what are they going to say? As we know, most times you have a horrible experience, you tell 10 people. You have a great experience, you tell 2. So we have to ensure that we reduce the amount of negative messages going out there. So the Government of Dominica is also going to be ensuring that we put in place training programs to ensure that all the persons touching the tourist or the visitor is properly trained. And that starts from the immigration officer to the customs officer to Prim at the airport, to the taxi drivers, to the hotel, to the tour guides, to the tour operators. Everybody has a role to play, and we have to ensure that we give the best possible service to the visitors.
Government has approved $6 million for the Ministry of Tourism in the 2015-2016 national budget, a 33% increase from the previous year. Honorable Tong says this demonstrates government's commitments to the industry. Air access, which has also been a challenge for the industry, has received attention.
To further discover Dominica Authority, we have an air access committee which has been speaking with all the various airlines to ensure that people can come to Dominica much easier. In the past, when you had to come to Dominica, you'd have to book your flight for Liat and then book it through American Airlines. You no longer have to do that because of the partnerships that Liat has with the big airlines and also Seaborne Airlines. So right now you can go online, book your ticket with Seaborne and have your bags checked all the way to Dominica. Most of you who have traveled before realize in the past you'd have to get off the plane, go clear your bags, go back and recheck in, and hopefully if you had sufficient time you'd make it. Now imagine you're coming home to Dominica, you don't have a choice, but the visitor has a choice. They don't need to go through all of these hassles. So by ensuring that we put in all these measures in place, it makes it much easier for them to come to Dominica.
In more news, 3 years ago, the United Nations made an international statement recognizing the invaluable contributions which cooperatives make. 2012 was designated International Year of Cooperatives, and according to UN Secretary General Ban Ki-moon, cooperatives are a reminder to the international community that it is possible to pursue both economic viability and social responsibility. Cooperatives are designed as business enterprises owned and controlled by the very members that they serve. This means that decisions made in cooperatives are balanced by the pursuit of profit and the needs and interests of members and their communities. In Dominica, the first cooperative was registered in 1952. The Dominica Credit Union, followed by 16 other finance-based cooperatives and one citrus growers organization in the same decade. Today, 41 cooperative societies are registered in Dominica. Government's growth and social protection strategy includes the work of cooperatives in contributing to poverty reduction and thus economic development. The strategy highlights that cooperative societies add to gender equality, quality education and lifelong learning, and the promotion of stable and peaceful communities in addition to equitable growth and employment creation. Dominica's Economic and Social Review for the 2014-2015 fiscal period reports that just in those 12 months, cooperatives are credited for 93 direct and indirect new jobs. The largest share of this comes from the production of bay oil. The industry for that period welcomed 60 new bay leaf farmers. Government has long realized the very significant contribution which cooperatives make to the island's growth. Through the local government department, cooperatives are often financially and technically supported. Farmers are also very often encouraged to form groups in order to benefit from government assistance that will redound to individuals, families, communities, and ultimately national progress. When the United Nations back in 2012 spotlighted cooperatives for the entire year, it sought to introduce and encourage the concept by highlighting the contribution of cooperatives to socio-economic development, particularly their impact on poverty reduction, employment generation, and social integration. According to Dominica's Cooperative Development Division, cooperatives have existed here since the 1920s, and today Dominica has the most dynamic cooperative movement in the OECS. In other news, Honorable Minister for Education and Human Resource Development, Peter Seja, believes that the Dominica State College gives its graduates a significant advantage in the current global environment. Honorable Seja was speaking at the DSC's 2015 orientation ceremony held yesterday, August 24th.
I believe that DSC provides every young Dominican the opportunity to access careers and to ensure that they succeed at these careers in a globally competitive environment.
Government continues to take action to ensure that every student can benefit from the opportunities which the DSC offers.
We are confronted with young people, young Dominicans who register at DSC but do not see the completion of their program. The Government of Dominica, in recognition of that fact, has put certain systems in place to address the problems that you are confronted with. I speak here of, first of all, improving the physical facilities. Secondly, providing Dominica State College with support to ensure that the slate of tutors and lecturers that we have here are second to none in the OECS. And importantly, ensuring your stability here at State College as it relates to your financial well-being.
Statistics show that 92% of college students who have attended the DSC have received assistance from government. The Minister for Education assured students that government will ensure that no student drops out of the DSC due to financial difficulties.
Let me say to you that the Government of Dominica will not allow any young person to drop out of DSC because your family cannot afford. We believe that education is a right and not a privilege, and so the government will do everything possible to assist young Dominicans not just to enter, but to achieve success throughout the 2 or 3 years that you are at DSC.
He reminded students, however, that good grades are necessary for continued financial support.
You have a responsibility when the state finances or assists in financing your education at the Dominica State College to hold true to your end of the bargain. I say this because there are too many young people registering at State College. The state provides financial aid, and at the end of the exercise, you show up with a GPA of 0.9 or 1.2 and expect the state to continue financing your studies. That, to my mind, is totally unacceptable. No matter where you come from, your geographic location, no matter what your family background may be, or maybe religious or political affiliation, we are prepared as government to support you through your years of study at Dominica State College. However, when the resources of state are used to support you in your studies, you have a moral obligation to do your best in order to prove that the monies that we expended were well spent.
You're watching National Focus. Coming up, the National Employment Program prepares to engage even more. Children, remember, adults should not ask you to keep secrets that make you feel uncomfortable.
For more information on child abuse or to report suspected cases on child abuse, contact the Social Welfare Division on 33 Great Marlborough Street or call 266-3020 or 266-3080.
Welcome back. One of the Dominica Labour Party government's flagship programs, the National Employment Program, has over the past year and 5 months created quite a stir in Dominica's economy. The program, which was originally intended to give work experience to just about 400 Dominicans, to date employs 1,499. The Honorable Minister for Employment, Ian Douglas, says the program has done a lot more than just create a source of income for those previously unemployed. It has given on-the-job training and, in some instances, a new skill to the once unemployable. The minister says this year even more resources will be put towards the expansion of the program.
Contrary to what the opposition and the rumor mongers have been pushing, we intend to even expand the program in this year. So we intend to expand the NEP by engaging 30 new graduates at that level. And also we intend to continue to engage our interns all around Dominica. $5 million have been allocated for further investment in those programs.
The minister says $5 million of the $12 million spent so far on the program has gone to paying salaries of those engaged in the private sector. The program has, however, allowed for hundreds to be absorbed into permanent employment. He says work will also continue with the Small Business Support Unit to create a new cadre of entrepreneurs in the productive sector. In the last financial year, over $1 million was spent to train just over 200 young people in sewing, stone cutting, machinery and small engine repair, landscaping, hospitality, Kalinago craft making, and as nail technicians. There are plans to train even more in this financial year.
So this year we are expanding the program to create more skilled persons so that they can develop their small businesses and be self-employed. Self-employed in areas like poultry and pork production, of course for the abattoir. We have beekeeping, plant propagation, carpentry, metalworks, ballista making and interior decorating to support the ongoing housing revolution. And also we will be giving training in boat building and fish pot making to support the fishing subsector and air condition and refrigeration.
The Honorable Minister was speaking at a town hall meeting in the Roseau Valley last week. Before we leave, an announcement from the Department of Local Government and Community Development. All residents of Goodwill are invited to a community meeting on Thursday, August 27th at 5:30 p.m. at the Goodwill Secondary School. The purpose of this meeting is to select a new executive to serve on the Goodwill Development Committee. Play your part and be there. And that's the English news. McPherson St. Luce is next with the Creole highlights.
Alors tout le monde, bienvenue à cette nouvelle en Creole. Moi, c'est McPherson St. Luce. Premièrement, travail réhabilitation pour place à Sichime Belvé Chopin. Mon parlement, Honorable Dr. Kenneth Darrow, visité le projet la semaine passée.
En Belvé Chopin, ça nous en Belvé Chopin, c'est nous fait des morceaux chimés, en place au Kakouye Grenville. Là, nous dépensé $70 000. Ça, c'est mon année passée. Et bien, l'autre, ça nous a chimé Magua. Nous dépensé l'autre $60 000. Quand on est chez Chimia, 60 000 et 70 000, ça là, il fait morceau chez Chimia. Mais moi, j'ai comme le commitment là, au ministre Finance et le ministre Public Works, là, tout de suite, nous avons l'argent pour continuer ce projet-là. Est-ce que Chimia Magua, il y a 7 ans, Chimia était dans mauvaises conditions. Jusqu'à mon qui ne voit pas de passer les chemins de pas que voiture au l'école marché monter à casio mais maintenant quand on est en chemin nous fait 60 000 pour 400 pieds chemin en concrète et nous aussi voulons remercier contracteur monsieur Agrippa Morancy pour travail là il fait travail bien net travail bien solide.
Notre nouvel projet de développement station agriculture autant important pour le développement Kalinago. Parole celle-là sortie du ministère Kalinago, Honorable Cassius Dero.
Projet ça là c'est très important pour nous en place Kalinago parce que quand nous savons de 3 années qui passent les figues en force, nous avons tapé en lot économique income par figue mais quand figue quitter nous savons agriculture c'est ça nous pour faire pour livelihood nous pays par exemple par extension so à Kalinago territories a son bon projet et nous il faudra complémenter agricultural station ça là avec un cassava processing plant so nous connaissons toutes ces technologies modern technology pour ça faire certain que tout ça nous a fait venir bear fruits at the end of the day.
Dans la nouvelle, ministère pour commerce et entreprise et PPT business, Honorable Rosalind Paul, qui a fait parole que le secteur là continue à réaliser autant de succès. Si l'homme ministre Paul, a fait la partie Labour Dominique mettait ministre là en place après dernière élection, c'est démonstration attention au gouvernement qui a mis ACPT et entreprise Dominique. Et en dernier l'année qui passée, plusieurs secteurs bénéficient et puis plan pour secteur là qui continue en l'année financière là. Ministre Paul aussi fait parole qui en dernier l'année financière plus que 300 personnes bénéficient plutôt femmes. Ministère a encouragé les gens pour prendre l'avantage opportunité que le gouvernement Dominique a porté par eux. Et puis finalement, travail réhabilitation à Sichime Kahoum qui a en place. Une délégation gouvernement visité l'occasion là pour voir progrès qui a en place à ces projets là. Si le directeur agriculture Ricky Brumant, gouvernement tant plainte habitants wan salam et puis qu'à travail en la théorie ailleurs.
Nous assistons à Salisbury, c'est un long chemin, mais ça nous avons un chemin qui le gouvernement a mis l'argent dedans pour manger. La dernier problème avec chemin ça, planter des cas parler comme ça, Salisbury des cas parler comme ça, des cas parler comme ça, mais le gouvernement ça y est dit, nous avons manger chemin là. Il est important pour nous, ministère de l'agriculture, ministère là, avec division là, nous avons préparé nous pour travailler avec ces plantes, ces habitants ça, pour faire cette, ils planter meilleur, ils planter pli, ils taper, hors d'agriculture ça, ils supposé taper.
Messieurs, mesdames, ça c'est tout pour nouvelle en Creole pour à présent. Non, moi c'est McPherson Luce. Au revoir.
Coming up next, a tip to cook better rice. Stay with us.
Child abuse is unacceptable. Child abuse is not cultural, it is criminal. And one child abuse is one too many.
For more information on child abuse or to report suspected cases on child abuse, contact the Social Welfare Division on 33 Great Marlborough Street or call 266-3020 or 266-3080.
To get that fluffy white rice, add a teaspoon of lemon juice to the boiling water before you put the rice in the pot. Your rice will definitely come out the way you envision. And that's all for this edition of National Focus. We always welcome your suggestions and comments. Drop us an email at gis@dominica.gov.dm or visit our website news.gov.dm. Like our Facebook page, facebook.com/GIS News Dominica, and follow our Twitter at GIS Dominica. You can also catch up on past National Focus newscasts on our GIS Dominica YouTube channel. From all of us here on the GIS News production team, I'm Jarna Hector. Thanks for watching and join us again next time on National Focus.